Well, I am very excited to be presenting on this. I have experienced a moment of inflection many times in my career, often with great frustration. It was a moment where some product or project is suddenly a success, and it's time to really go because the opportunity is bigger than you thought, or you overcome. And then, how do you actually mobilize the funding or get a commitment to proceed? This shows up all the time in innovation, but many other areas as well. And it's a source of great frustration. So we've been working this problem for about a year with the Innovation Interest Group, and we've got an approach that we think contributes to the root cause problem called the contingency dashboard, and Wayne and I are going to be presenting that.
And so what we are is we're a forum of decision makers and innovators trying to improve the quality of decisions made on innovation projects. But we're also trying to bring innovation best practices to SDP to develop new products that would serve, the SDP audience. And, here today, we're going to be rolling out our second major project. So if you're familiar with our group, last year we rolled out the decision complexity card. We've got a second product we want to introduce today. So this is a working group, and it's very hands-on. Yeah, next slide, David. The methodology that we follow is design thinking, straight from Stanford G School. So the key steps, if you're not familiar with that, we interview decision makers, and you see on the left-hand side the folks that we've interviewed for this particular product, to understand them and empathize with them, what makes decision making challenging for them, to find what problems they have that if we could solve would make their lives better, generate ideas, take the ideas that we're most excited about, prototype them, and then go back and test those ideas with the decision makers to say, if we were to provide this product to you, would it make your life easy? So we need to test it and validate. So we've done enough testing and validation with the folks on the left-hand side to know that, hey, we're onto something and we're ready to roll it out to a broader audience. So that's where we are today.
So the little dog there, that's our mascot. That's an IIGY, Innovation Interest Group. And doesn't that dog look like it's going to get up to some interesting mischief? So that's what this is all about. So let me tell you what the result of all this is. It's a very, very simple idea. I'm going to kind of headline it, and then we're going to back up and explain it in some detail. So the contingency dashboard, this is literally a screenshot of the first rough idea. We've come to call it the contingency dashboard, a little simpler name, but the big idea is it's a kind of scatter plot. And on the y-axis is whatever the importance is now. So you can see these post-its, C, D, B, and A represent different innovations or projects that are being invested in priority. So C and D are the highest priority, B is a middle priority, and A is a low priority. And then, so that pops out of most, strategy processes, and most companies have this sort of ordering. What we've added is a list of what we're calling X's. Now, an X is an uncertainty or an event that is a function of that project, probably. So, for example, A, which is an innovation project to try a new marketing method, if that thing hits its corresponding X, that is, you hit your customer acquisition target, what that means is that method, which was small and sort of a test before, is actually very effective. And so its priority pops a lot. And so on the X-axis is the priority if X happens. So you can see if all the X's happen, then the priority is A and then B and then C and D. So possibly A can move from the bottom of priority to the top, and C and D can move from the top to the bottom, and B more or less is going to stay put. So there's some different categories. So that's the big idea to drive.